The Dummy M Podcast. Find us on Instagram and YouTube.
Well, T-Dog and I are massive UFC fans. We have been watching UFC, not quite from the beginning, but maybe say around UFC 30 onwards. And the gentleman we have on today is one of the pioneers in the sport, and he's fought some of the big names. In fact, I believe, Brian Ebersole, that you actually sort of started out wrestling with Matt Hughes. Is that correct?
I mean, I kind of finished wrestling with Matt Hughes. To be honest, he was part of the last coaching staff I had in my athletic career in that regard. He was my university wrestling coach at Eastern Illinois. So that was the end of my wrestling career, scholastic wrestling. And then once that was over, I wanted to keep playing the sport. So mixed martial arts was just the way to do it.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm suggesting is it was when you were wrestling with him that sort of led you into mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I mean, I trained and I'd done a few things in high school and met Pat Miletich and a couple other people, Henzo Gracie, along the way. And, the thought of fighting was kind of planted, when I was about 16. I watched, I think, Matt Hughes fight my first year of college, first year of university when he was my wrestling coach. And funny enough, I had my MMA debut in the same gymnasium for the same promoter on the same event.
Wow.
Later on.
Yeah, nice. Obviously, our listeners can pick up an accent, but you're now living in Australia, but you've been living in Australia for a while. So why did you end up moving out here permanently?
Love.
Nice.
Love. Yes. So my wife is from a small suburb in the southwest of Sydney, and we live in that suburb now, just a few hundred yards from her mom, her meters, I should say, and her father lives in the very next suburb as well. So just to be near her family made it an easy choice. Once we decided we were going to settle in Australia, it was pretty easy to go back to hometown for her.
So I suppose the lead-on question from that is then, how does a girl from Sydney meet a UFC fighter?
Because said UFC fighter wasn't quite a UFC fighter yet.
The Dummy M Podcast. Find us on Instagram and YouTube.